So now let's talk about mobile apps. Looks like we've got 10 minutes left and probably just enough time to talk about mobile apps. And mobile apps, we just released both an Android and an iPhone/iPad update to our mobile apps that's called the 10-second telestrator. And what it does, it delivers on this notion that we talked about the very first day of having a centralized cloud storage for all your devices. So when I take video with my camera, it uploads to my locker at PowerChalk. When I take video with my iPad, it uploads to my cloud storage, PC and Mac, Android, iPhone, etc. So it all lives on the server. And if you'll go to your iPhone, iPad, and you will go to the App Store and download just search for PowerChalk. Instead of searching for 10-second telestrator, that's a mouthful. Search for PowerChalk, and you'll find 4 or 5 apps by us. They're all free. And the 10-second telestrator gives you the ability to not only send videos that you've taken with your iPhone or iPad up to your locker in PowerChalk, but also to telestrate them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose the login here. And again, there's no way for me to show you, no good way for me to show you, the app in progress because I'm, webcasting this. If I were to use my webcam here, it wouldn't be a very good image that I'd be taking of the app itself. So what I've done is I've snapshotted the screens. And if I take the login choice of those 3 choices, then it's going to bring me to, I've intentionally blurred this out here, it's going to bring me to a login screen, and this is your exact PowerChalk account. So no difference here. Again, it's a unified account, and you're going to log in, as your ID with your password, and when it accepts that, it takes you to the main menu. So really you got 3 branches. You got 3 paths that you can take from here. Let's go bottom up here. The bottom is to take videos that were shot with this device. Again, whether it's you're going to see the same interface on the Android, whether it's your Android phone, your Android pad, your iPad, or your iPhone, you can take any of those videos. They're now HD videos. Now, they're not super high quality. Just to get on my soapbox a little bit about video quality, they're actually very high quality as far as the image. They're only 30 frames a second, so they're not as good as some of the cameras that are out there. But the big deal for me is they do not zoom. Any zoom that you do with these devices, any flat device that you can put in your shirt pocket or you can, put inside a book, the fact that it's flat means that there's not 2 opposing lenses that are zooming in and out. So the only kind of zoom they have is what's called digital zoom. It's not optical zoom. So I don't take anything away from them. It's great for golf when you can walk right up to the golfer. It's great for a side session in baseball when you can take a step forward or step back and film someone in the bullpen. It's not great if you're in the stands trying to film the pitcher, and the pitcher's only an inch big on an 8-inch screen. So that's kind of the story on these devices, but still they're very useful, to grab those teachable moments. So that's what this third option does, is it allows you to highlight or to upload your video to PowerChalk. All right, so the second option is to reach into your PowerChalk locker, to reach into that cloud and actually start working with one of the videos that's on the web using your mobile device. All right, so we're going to do that here in a minute, but let's talk about the other option that we probably won't have time to do, and that is to actually telestrate using videos that are already on your mobile. So this is the one that you can actually do if you choose the option on the first screen to work offline. If you work offline, let's say you're out of cell range, don't have a good signal, you don't have Wi-Fi, and you want to film a side session and actually show your pitcher his motion, you can do that by selecting Work Offline back on the login screen and coming into mobile device videos. So you can work without a connection. But since I do have a connection and I did log in, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose Videos PowerChalk, and what I'm doing by that is I'm actually reaching in to the server. Now, much like you saw the folder setup back if you're on the web client, you'll get basically the same setup here. You'll get premium content, public folders. So I can tap any of these, and for example, I can tap premium content, and it takes me to these premium folders that PowerChalk is building. So PGA Swings, Grand Prix of Diving, Amateur Softball World Cup, National High School Invitational Tournament out at USA Baseball. So I can click any of those folders and it'll take me into the 50 or 60 videos that are these model motions. So in this case, let me go back to the folder options and let me go into public videos. And just like I did with when I was on the web, as soon as I take my videos, it pops up a little box. I know this is a little small and fuzzy, so I've grown the text here, but I type col in just as I did before. So before every folder, you're going to get this box that pops up that says, you know, there may be hundreds of videos in that folder. Before we go in, do you want to filter it down? Now, if you just hit search with no keyword filter, then you'll get the whole folder, or you'll get the first 100. Again, we know you're on a mobile device, so we give you 100 results. And if you want to pare that down, you need to go back, do it again, and put in a keyword. So with that filter in place, it shows me my locker videos that match that keyword. So again, you see Cole skiing, playing football, on his motorcycle. So I'm going to come back in just like I did a minute ago, and I'll say, hey, that's too many videos. Let's put in Cole golf, and you'll notice it filters that down to that single golf swing that we saw before. So again, it's looking at the same cloud data that we looked at with the PC. And at that point, I'll tap that entry. I'll tap that Cole golf video, and I'll get my choices. And the choices are, and it looks like I've got this on top of it, but you see that first one is a play. You've got Chalk Talk Analyze. You've got Mark as Favorite. You've got, because I'm the owner of this video, you've also got Edit and Delete. So I can literally manage my locker from right here. I can edit or delete the text, title, and tags of that video, or I can delete that video. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Chalk Talk, and I'm going to download that video from the cloud. And now when I hit this, of course I'm on a 3G network, or I'm on Wi-Fi with this iPad or iPhone, and you'll start to see the spin downloading video. So this is a good time to get on my soapbox and tell you coaches that we don't want to film innings, we don't want to film games. PowerChalk is not a game film system. It's really about small teachable moments. These are about 10-second clips, or these are, and you can go 30 seconds, you can go a minute. I mean, there's nothing at the technology that will not, that limits you from shooting 1 minute of film. But I'll tell you this, if you've got a minute of film and you start to download it, to your mobile device, you'll probably think that it's locked up before the video will actually get there. And that's just a function of the technology. So I encourage you to keep those videos short. So when the video finally loads, you're going to get the 10-second telestrator. And the 10-second telestrator has a menu on the left. And I've still got the plus and minus, and that's increment frames. So I can plus, 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 and I can start moving Cole through this. And you'll notice this little tick mark right here. That is the playhead. So I can literally just put my finger in this area here, and I can slide back and forth to control this video. But I can also, if I want real delicate, 1 frame at a time, I can hit the plus minus. I can also just hit the play button. And it's going to play it right now at 25 frames a second. I can tap any of these buttons and bring out, that slides out a menu, and I've also got the record option. So just like we did in the telestrator, I can hit record. I can start drawing lines on Cole's video. I can start controlling the video itself, frame by frame. I can show him, how much backward movement he's got. And then ultimately I'll hit the record button again. So again, the record button turns into, once you hit it once, it turns into a blinking light. It alternates red and white, and it starts blinking. And at that point, I finally hit it again, which says record stop, and it takes me to session save. So again, it asks me for the subject, which is usually an athlete's name, tags, description. I have sharing options, so I can once again share it with Ryan Magnuson when it's done. Click my sport. Syndication is public, private, or unlisted. We talked about that in our first session. So I fill out the who, what, when, where, and I say save to PowerChalk. At that point, the whole recorded session gets sent to my PowerChalk locker and becomes, if I go back into my locker, it becomes the next entry. It becomes the topmost entry in my locker. And what it will have, if I go to one of my subsequent pages, it will have this little PowerChalk neutron. So this indicator right here that it's a Chalk Talk and not a raw video, that will be in the left-hand corner of that thumbnail. So that shows me that these are raw videos, this is a raw video, this is a raw video, but this video right here is a Chalk Talk. So it will come into the system. It will come into my locker once I save it as a Chalk Talk, and I can now play it. Now, by the way, when it's done playing, because it's in my locker, I can go back using my mobile. I can find it in my videos. It'll be on the very top, and I can say play it. So literally, I could send a link to someone, which is right there, email video link. So I can send that link off to another coach, or maybe even to the coach's parent, who's not at our practice session, and say, here's what we're looking at, here's what we're seeing right now. So again, that's the mobile. The mobiles are free, and you can find them in the Apple App Store. And I'll say a quick word, because I chose to use the Apple here. I'll say a quick word about Android. So for you Android users out there, I'm also an Android user. I've got multiple phones, multiple pads. We pretty much have and test everything. Android is a mirror image of the app that we just showed you. Most of the menu keys, instead of the menu being on the left side, as you know, Apple has a dedicated soft key for the menu. So you actually hit the menu key, it pops up the menu, and you make your selections from there. So it's slightly different from the user interface. The other thing I'll say about Android is I would almost, call the Android a beta work in progress. Android's a very powerful system. It's very capable as far as a programming environment, but every device that we've found tests a little differently. So bear with us while we shake all the final bugs out of the Android system, because Android is still very much a work in progress. The new line of Samsung phones have great promise. We've got the 7-inch Samsung tablet. Works very well. Some of the phones that are running Android 2.3 work better than others. So with Android, like Apple, there's about 3 versions of the operating system that are out there in play right now, and they're all giving slightly different results. So bear with us as we work the kinks out of Android. But it's there. It's a very reliable way to take video and to send it up to your locker.